Art.
Yeah. Well, the irony of I think what all of us do is right. The work is the fun part. You know, it's when you're not working that's the hard part. Um, and I actually, you know, talking about that, you know, all successful as actors, I think all perceived as actors who've maybe almost transcended your ethnicity. I'm curious for you guys now going out on roles, you know, are these Asian written roles? Are they just roles that are written for people? Because I think the great news is that, you know, you're just people, we see your images on face and television, you're all in our lives. You know, we know you're that guy at the store, you're the guy at the Best Buy, you're the guy, you know, in the high school, and it's sort of transcended ethnicity. I mean, I'm curious to know you as actors, when you're going out, agents are sending out, casting directors are seeing you, how's the reaction been?
Well, it's interesting, you know, everyone on this panel, our success means that networks or people are going to write more Asian roles into the projects that they do. Like there was a pilot season, maybe it was the last one or whatever it was. The pilot season, like immediately following the development season, immediately following Slumdog Millionaire, there were a slew of South Asian roles in all the shows, and then I think Outsourced came out of that as well. And so you can see, I mean, like Hollywood's not necessarily the most, you know, blindingly, you know, what's the word? Just like, you know, innovative town. You know what I mean? They see something, they see that it works, and then it's like a copycat medium. So it's cool to see when Daniel has all this success, it brings more roles to everybody else. So, I mean, I think I've noticed that even in the short time I've been in the business.
Yeah, I think it's also about taking control of your career too, like challenging the roles that you're going out for. Like just because a breakdown says, oh, we're looking for Caucasian. I mean, if you don't see the parents of the character, why can't it be Asian?
Or she's talking about breakdowns for every role that, every movie that comes out, that goes out to the casting directors and then to the agents. It's a brief summary of what the actual role is, what the actual movie itself is about. And so she's, if I may say, she's actually talking about if it says, oh, the name is, you know, Ellen or whatever, and it says, you know, Caucasian, why can't you fight for the role to be you instead and then have your spin on it if you don't see the parents or if what have you.
And I think that's the best way to like go in it, like especially when limited roles, Asian roles are, you look at it and you're like, you go into the audition, you're like, you're not Asian enough. What does that mean? You know, and you kind of have to go in and grab these roles and try and like say, oh, hey, he can play it. I'm not even looking at him as just being Asian. I'm just looking at him as him being this character. And I think that needs to happen more and more for that to happen where, you know, they'll start putting more breakdowns where it's like, okay, you know, let's play this guy as a regular guy and not just like some guy from Japan, or, you know. So I think that needs to happen more.
For you in Hawaii Five-0, was it actually written as an Asian role from the beginning, or were you out there and then go on? Sorry. Was it written as an Asian role?
Yeah, it was. Because we used the original show as a template, Chin Ho Kelly was an Asian or a Hawaiian character, and so was Kono Kalakaua. But what they did do is they expanded the idea of the age range of that character. Originally, Chin Ho Kelly was supposed to be in his 50s, 60s, and he was supposed to be the kind of older lieutenant in the group.
You look really good for your age, man.
Thank you. Hawaii has excellent plastic surgeons. No, so they did rethink things based on the actors who were coming in, and in this case, me.
And so were you actively, if I may use this word, aggressive in trying to get that role, in understanding that the opportunity was there and that the concept was there? Were you like, right, I'm going to get this, I'm going to throw all my weight behind it? Or was it one of these things where you were like, okay, let's see what happens, and serendipitous to the situation?
When I heard about the project, I was very curious as to what they were planning on doing with it. So I was aggressive when I found out about it, but then it became a dance because you want to be sure, especially when you're in a situation where you have choices, that the character is going to be something that you want to play, that the people involved are going to be people that you want to work with, and the entire kind of concept of the show is going to be something that you can stand behind, because nothing's worse than making a choice that you're going to regret. It's one thing if you're just starting out in your career and you just need to work, you need to make rent, or you need to do something for your resume. But if you're in a position where you have choices, then you really should take care to make the best one that you can.
So let's talk a little bit about GLEE.
That applies to dating as well, by the way, that advice.
Absolutely. Isn't that what we were talking about?
So, Harry, you're part of a show that I think, ethnically, and even beyond that, it's dealing with a lot of different issues. I think, everything from sexual identity to abortion. There's a diversity of characters. What does it feel to kind of be a part of this show that's become this phenomenon? But more importantly, I think it's crossing a lot of stereotypes, just beyond what we've seen on television historically.
Yeah, I mean, you look, Asians play on the football team. Really? I think it's so awesome to be part of a show where the whole world can watch and have a relation towards a certain character. You have the Mercedes, you have a gay character, and then you have an Asian character, and now they put the two Asian characters as a couple, which makes for some interesting conversations and arguments. And I look at it as something that is breaking certain stereotypes, and you have a guy who people always thought in stereotypes like, oh, Asians can't dance, or and they can't do certain things, and I think it's great for the show to allow that for people to see that, and I'm just so happy that people up top, especially with Fox, are really supporting that and supporting diversity.